Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Bob. Welcome to hopefully the first of many episodes of the Hulu Raw review. The reason I'm doing this is that us people who watch WWE Raw on Hulu, we have a very different experience than the people who watch it on cable. The Hulu people, we watch it a day later on Tuesday. We see some segment, we miss out on a lot of segments, we miss out on entrances, but we also have some insight sometimes as to what segments and what wrestlers are not considered as important. So it's a bit of a different world for us, and we have to avoid spoilers on social media, and there's technical glitches and what have you. So my name is Bob, Bob, and a little bit about me, real quick, one time only. I'm a graduate of the WWE Hall of Famer off of the Wild Samoans Wrestling School from way back when. So I did some time in the Indies in the Northeast and some indie time in San Diego, California as well. So I got a little bit of an insight on, compared to the average internet wrestling fan and all that silliness. So we're gonna start with Greensboro, North Carolina, the May 16th, 2016 episode of Monday Night Raw, available only on Hulu in a special 90-minute action-packed version with a limited commercial breaks. Only $7.99 a month, and you can watch your favorite programs from the CW network like Flash or Arrow. I like Gotham on Fox, plus original programming like James Franco in 11/22/63, where James Franco stops the Kennedy assassination by going back in time. Absolutely tremendous. Sign up for Hulu today. All right. We open with a theme song. There's a theme song to Raw, and then there's wrestlers, and there's like a lot of wrestlers real coming at you fast. It's totally bananas. You gotta check it out. And then you go to the top of the ramp in the arena, and there's fireworks, and everything's just blowing up, and you know it's gonna be pandemonium. It's gonna be off the hook, off the wall, off the chain, under the table, under the weather, under the radar. It's gonna be bananas, man. So we're gonna dig that. Um, we open up the show with a promo from AJ Styles. They don't want none. They don't want none of his promos. They just want him to wrestle matches. But he gets on a microphone and he says a bunch of stuff that is very southern. And then Roman Reigns comes out. And I gotta tell you, the internet wrestling fans give Roman Reigns a hard time. But he has gotta be arguably the most handsome of recent WWE champions. Even more so than John Cena. The guy is just a good looking man. They took his contacts out, and he's got that smooth Mediterranean complexion, and he's from a totally different island, but he pulls it off. So Roman Reigns and AJ Styles are very upset with each other. They each have two friends, the Usos, the cousins of Reigns, there with him, and then the club, Anderson and Gallows, there with Styles, and these two factions of three are very upset with each other. They've got a lot of quarrels, a lot of quandaries, a lot of conflicts, and hopefully they can solve these things with words, is all I'm hoping. I just don't want anyone to get seriously hurt. But Reigns and AJ are going to wrestle each other this Sunday in an Extreme Rules pay-per-view match, and there's going to be weapons, and let's just hope everyone prevails, intact. Reigns punches AJ Styles in the mouth, and AJ is very upset about this, and why wouldn't he be? We go to our first commercial break, and if you're familiar with watching Raw on Hulu, there are a lot of these, and they are repetitive. In this commercial, Ricky Gervais, the popular British comedian from The Office and other films, he wants us to try Verizon Network. He doesn't like the other ones. He calls them rubbish because he's British, and then he just gets disgusted and he walks right out of the camera. He's like, "Well, I'm British." And he gets out of Dodge. So much for that. And then they want you to try Fiji water. I hope it's nothing in the same water that Jimmy Snuka from Fiji was drinking, because you might forget that. Let's just whatever. We get back from commercial. Cesaro and Sami Zayn are wrestling in a babyface match there, and very quickly things erupt into a big brawl with The Miz and Kevin Owens and everything else. And Shane McMahon comes out, and Shane channels his inner Teddy Long by making it a tag match, and then he channels his inner WrestleMania 8 by wearing bright white shoes with his jeans. That's what he wore and the Hebners wore when they all came out at Mania 8 to stop Elizabeth, when 9 guys needed to stop Elizabeth from rushing the ring. I'm old, yeah. It was very 90s of Shane. He might as well just come out to the bass line from Seinfeld and then make his match. A side note, if Gorilla Monsoon came out to that theme song, would it be Here Comes the Monkey? Enough. Okay. So he makes it a tag match, 2 good guys versus 2 bad guys, but Stephanie, not to be outdone, always one up on her big brother there, she makes it a one good guy and one bad guy versus a good guy and a bad guy, and they all wrestle. And Sami Zayn defeats the Miz with his haluva kick, because it's a hell of a. He's so silly. You know, we missed his entrance, by the way. I don't know if it was on Raw, but we didn't see him do the ska dance with the hat, and so big letdown there. But they did keep in Cesaro ripping his pants off, which is actually less sexual. He just comes to the ring wearing tights. So interesting how that pans out. Next commercial, Connecticut. This is going to be a reoccurring theme. They really want you to visit Connecticut. They want you to take the kids and turn off the cell phones and reenact the Revolutionary War. I've been watching WWE programming for a long time, and I think I've had my share of what creative experiences Connecticut has to offer. I think we're double dipping advertising, so that's going to come back. Chris Jericho and Renee Young, one's interviewing the other. You could figure that out when we come back. One very nice Canadian and one very rude Canadian are going back and forth, and Chris Jericho reminds us of another feud he's having with someone who's already been on his podcast, so there's no believability. Finally, the debut of the tag team, the Shining Stars. I'm not sure if this sold me on wanting to see a wrestling match, but it did intrigue me in buying a timeshare. So it's not like there's no purpose to this tag team. Their finisher has the same name as their team. It's the Shining Star, done by the Shining Stars. I hope everyone else is laughing at this. They fired Damian Sandow, but these two, try number 18. They've got it. Back to a commercial break. 8-inch headphones. Buy them. They look great. Dunkin' Donuts sandwiches and Red Bull. They pretty much, I think they want you to have diarrhea during the next segment. What they're going at. John Cena returns when we come back, and Dean Ambrose decides that he and Chris Jericho are going to have a match at Extreme Rules, and it's going to be an asylum match. An asylum is a steel cage, but there's all kinds of wacky weapons that we didn't see used at WrestleMania 32. I don't know what they're doing with Dean Ambrose. They are really pushing a guy hard and making him look as stupid as possible at the same time. They're doing a great job. There's a motorcycle outside. So there you go. He's on his way to get a front wheel alignment. He jokes with the kids. Kids like jokes, with the hula hoops, the moon pies, kids like jokes. Another commercial. Back to Connecticut. Visit Connecticut. It is so flat. And buy a Honda. Drive your Honda to Connecticut. The New Day comes back with a time machine, and they do a very silly video, a silly segment where Kofi does the 2009 joke. If you saw that, it was very comical, and then they wear mustaches, and they do their time machine thing, and I really like this. I'm hoping as a rib on them that fans really want the time machine back, so they have to carry this hideous refrigerator box everywhere. The Vaudevillains did not find this humorous. They're very serious chaps, and they take great pride in what they do. So they jumped the New Day. They were very upset. I'm wondering if New Day will be as angry about their probably several billion-dollar time machine as Jericho was about his $15,000 jacket. Another commercial, buy a minivan, use Geico insurance, and then a dog drinks Red Bull, and he steals the dog catcher's truck, and the catcher, twist of irony, it's like so meta. It's the dog catcher's chasing a truck, and then the dog drives it out. So that interrupts our regularly scheduled programming. The Usos wrestle the club, and we go to a tag match. Now we get another commercial. I want you to know this whole experience. Hulu gives us a choice of ads. We can choose a regular ad called Family Fun, or a longer ad with less commercial breaks later called Couples Escape Time. But both Family Fun and Couples Escape Time, do you know where they take us? I'm not kidding. Connecticut. They really want you to go to Connecticut. I don't know what we're missing. It's actually one of the only two states that ends in T, the other one being Vermont. A lot of wrestling fans do not know that. The Usos defeat the club, and Styles hits the Styles Clash on a chair to the delight of several fans everywhere, I'm sure. So that's going to be a humdinger of a brouhaha come this Sunday at Extreme Rules on WWE Network with no commitment for only $9.99 a month. John Cena's still coming back 2 weeks from this past Monday. Cena's returning. He's as handsome as Roman Reigns. He can give him a run. Maybe at SummerSlam we're going to find out who is the studliest of the two chaps. Kalisto and Del Rio finally wrestle. I've really been wanting to see a match between these two, hopefully over the U.S. title someday, and I'm really excited that we get to finally see those two combine. It's been too long that I've waited. Rusev is very angry. He beats up Kalisto's partner Sin Cara in the back and brings him out to show him, because they really don't want Sin Cara there. Who knows? Commercial time. Lexus, Connecticut, and Daily Burn. Daily Burn is a program on Hulu. You and your whole family can use Hulu for different yoga, Pilates, and all sorts of programs, plus fitness guides, and it's on Hulu. Now you have no excuse to get fit. Daily Burn on Hulu. Try that today. And finally, our last segment, the signing of the women's submission match, the women's championship. They're going to have a submission match at Extreme Rules. The Nature Boy Ric Flair is there in North Carolina, and they're very happy to see him. But of course, Charlotte intentionally confuses their cheers for him as cheers for her, and hilarity erupts. Natalya is there, and then Ric Flair. He's very upset with Shane and Stephanie for banning him and not treating him with special favors, with him being Ric Flair. I think now for 40 years, Ric Flair has actually been training to portray a senile old man, and he's doing a great job. Natalya taps out Charlotte in the middle of the ring when there's a big pull apart, and then that was that. The show ended on Hulu. The show ended. I'm not sure if there was a special podcast on the WWE Network for $9.99 with original programming featuring Unfiltered Renee Young and Breaking Ground. I don't know, but it's certainly possible. And the show ended. Kind of cool to see it end with a women's segment, and I think cool for Natalya to end it with Natalya on top at the end of Raw. I'm sure she'll be talking about that one at every opportunity for a very long time. So I'm excited for Extreme Rules. I think it was a great go home show, as the kids they call it, the go because the thing. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna go to this place called Alba's down the street here in Astoria, Queens, and I'm gonna get like a chicken parm wedge, and I'm gonna eat the sandwich. I'm gonna eat the sandwich and drink Miller High Life because it's the champagne of beers, and that's what I feel like. It's a special occasion. So definitely enjoy that. I hope you keep watching the Hulu Raw review. We'll be back next week with more reviews, and we'll check out the fallout from Extreme Rules. Bye everybody.